I am a genius. In the moral dilemma of the trolley program, let's imagine a scenario where one rich, powerful billionaire versus a group of 5 people in a family are tied to the train tracks. First question, would you save the rich and powerful person instead of the 5 people in fear of it affecting you if you didn't save the billionaire? And then 5 people use their life. Second question, what's the most compassionate choice? How does compassion differ from logic? That's a powerful version of the problem. Let's break it down. When I save the billionaire, one person versus 5. The fear of not saving him. For moral reasoning, most ethical framework to say the billionaire's wealth or power does not increase the moral value of their life. Fear for yourself is a self-interest. Moral calculus is 1 versus 5. If it becomes minimize harm overall, minimize harm to myself, that's a different motivation. So, what's the most compassionate choice? Reduce suffering. For a pure compassionate lens, would lean towards saving the 5. It doesn't care who's more powerful or influential. How does compassion differ from logic? Well, utilitarianism says save the 5 because that's compassion, and it aligns with compassion in this case. But self-interested logic is reducing risk for yourself, so save the billionaire. Deontological logic says it's wrong to choose who dies at all. Which in this case, I don't get that. You have to make a choice, so the identity of the people don't matter. That's deontological logic, yes. So the core tension is compassion, concern for other suffering. Logic is structured reasoning toward an outcome. Sometimes they align, sometimes they don't. So we have 3 different options here of what the logic is. But there's a deeper layer. Do power and status change moral wealth? Most moral philosophies say billionaires' life is not inherently more invaluable than anyone else. Moral worth is equal. Humans are psychologically influenced by authority, status, fear of retaliation, so makes the dilemma emotionally realistic. Okay, so we can explore all of those, but I chose to say, how would anything change if the billionaire was funding life-saving research, like curing cancer? So that changes it, because now it's not 1 versus 5 people, but it's the future lives. So now we look at, it's not a simple numbers problem, it's a counterfactual future impact problem. Okay, so let's go back to utilitarianism. If the billionaire is actively funding life research that has a high probability of succeeding and would save thousands of lives and cannot continue without them, then a utilitarian might argue that saving the billionaire could prevent even more suffering. But here's the complications. The question arises, would the research continue without them? Could their wealth transfer? Are they uniquely irreplaceable? How likely is the research to succeed? If the expected future life saved exceeded 5 with high confidence, key thing is high confidence, the logical utilitarian choice would argue for saving the billionaire. From a compassionate viewpoint, you don't care. It's immediate visible suffering. It's the people right in front of you. The 5 people tied to the track are present, immediately dying, suffering. The future is abstract, statistical, hypothetical. Compassion tends to privilege the immediate and concrete over the abstract and the probabilistic. So compassion is still leaning toward the 5. Now, what's crucial is the replaceability. Is the billionaire the only person in the world who could fund this? Or is just one wealthy donor? Does their death stop the research? We don't know. Are they uniquely driving the research and can no one else step in? We don't know. So that plays into the moral tension. So the ethical tension. So You're valuing them not for being human, you're valuing them for what they produce. In the billionaire's case, the shift in morality is people are valuable in proportion to their impact. Most moral systems resist human dignity theories. Person is an end in themselves, not a means of future outcomes. So, under that view, the billionaire's funding is irrelevant. You know, I don't know. Emotional versus rational weighting. However, 5 certain deaths versus uncertain statistical odds. Research in moral psychology shows that we feel stronger emotions toward identifiable individuals. We struggle to emotionally process statistics. So even if logic suggests saving the billionaire, compassion still suggests saving the 5 in that case. Now, what's the hard truth? It exposes a disturbing implication. If we allow future impact to determine moral value, we are implicitly saying some lives are worth more because of influence, some deaths matter more because of economic power. That can easily slide into dangerous moral territory. That's a slippery slope to begin with. So, what actually changes? If the billionaire is funding life-saving research, utilitarianism may shift towards saving them, compassion still saving the 5. Duty-based ethics would say each life has equal moral worth. The dilemma becomes less about numbers and more about whether we should treat humans as equal in inherent value or weighted by impact. So, we can go deeper than that.